Welcome to
Introverts Own Your Voice. I'm Tom Marcoux.
And I'm Johanna McLeod.
This episode is Secret of Success, your art of asking. When I'm talking about asking, though, I'm talking about it really is an essential element of becoming successful or becoming more successful. Now, the challenge is a number of us don't feel comfortable asking. So, Johanna, when's the time that you didn't feel comfortable asking?
I was working on this article and I wanted a friend to look at it.
So what held you back?
I just felt like I was imposing on them.
I hear you. And that's the hard part, because in order to rise, to up-level our skills, we really need to ask. Mm-hmm. Also to up-level our circle in terms of being able to serve more people, getting to a higher level of clientele. It's all about asking. Mm-hmm. So what I've developed is the 4 R's of powerful asking. So the first R is an essential idea. The idea is replace the idea of asking equals failure. This really shook me up in a good way, because it made me realize that no matter where you are in your career, there's more to learn and there are more contacts to make. And if you hold back from asking for any help connecting with people, you are at a total disadvantage in terms of up-leveling your success. Let's say I'm talking to someone who's new to being a speaker, and they feel uncomfortable asking people, hey, do you know anyone who needs a speaker in this topic? Because they think that, well, I look like I have no success, because if I was successful, people would be coming to me. Or if I was successful, I would know all the different groups and the ideal people to talk to speak to those folks. But real life, real success is about asking, because there are things we don't know and people we haven't met.
So, Tom, what is it that you don't know?
Well, I don't know my next opportunities. So I'm always asking and connecting and serving people. And we'll get deeper into this idea of developing this real positive cycle, this real positive circle of people helping each other with the other R's of the 4 R's. So our next R is restructure to simple and meaningful. This is how you actually do the ask, how you actually express what you're asking for. You need to make it simple, because people are all overburdened. We all have schedules that are too full. Many of us are trying to multitask, which is really messing us up in terms of the research that says that multitasking is a myth, because it takes up your energy. It's a whole bunch of rapid starts and stops. It's not multitasking, it's rapid starts and stops. But the point is, everybody's schedule is so full, so how do you ask somebody in a way that they want to say yes? This is a wonderful skill to have. Well, you restructure your ask to make it simple, so it's a simple request, and then you make it meaningful to the person. Now, some years ago, when I needed to move from one place to another, it might feel awkward to ask a friend, would you help me move? Now, to make it meaningful, you can say, hey, you know what, Joe, it'd be really great if you could consider helping me move on Friday or Saturday, if that'd be a match. The thing is, it'll help me recover my security deposit. And we'll take some of that money and we'll go out to dinner. That'd be fun.
I'm in on that.
There you are. You see, that's the point. Meaningful, right? But it's meaningful that the recovery of money actually helps the friendship. We go get that money, we can go to a movie together. Something like that. You make it simple and meaningful. Now, what's even more meaningful is when you ask somebody, hey, could you tell me just a little bit about whatever the topic is, because you're going to them and you're basically paying honor to them, saying that it's meaningful because this person has the knowledge. This person is someone who you admire and someone you would really enjoy learning from. Now, I'm not a fan of this phrase called pick your brain. I think that's intrusive. But if you go to someone and you ask, would you share a little insight about this? I really want to help people related to this topic, and I really need to know more about it. Could you just help me for a moment? Then I can help this group of people over there. See, so it's meaningful. Our next R is re-energize, to invite them to participate. I'll share that again. Re-energize, to invite them to participate. Many years ago, when I first started filmmaking, and I was 9 years old, just coming together and making a little film was interesting. It was fun. It was different. So when I asked someone to participate, it wasn't such a burden because it was something that they could enjoy. It was something I basically was creating little communities around every little movie I made. Is you don't always have to, especially in the beginning, worry about having to pay people to do a little thing if it's something that we can all enjoy and we can all grow, particularly if somebody wants to get better with certain skills. If you're all coming up together, and this is the good stuff, like when I was in college, we were all coming up together, so we were learning how to do filmmaking. And so the actors were learning how to act, the directors were learning how to direct, the cinematographers were learning how to do cinematography. So we were all participating. So you're inviting people to participate. Now, the way you get someone to participate is to demonstrate that it's worth doing. And one of the ways you do that is show them some of your previous work, and they go, oh, that's good. I'd love to be part of your second or third or fourth film because your previous work was good. When I needed to get investors to put into a feature film, I already had some credentials. I had won contests. I had won a special award at the Emmy Awards, things like that. So people knew that participating with me was valuable to their own career because it would be good work. And finally, the fourth R is reciprocate in a pattern. Reciprocate in a pattern. Now, the pattern that I'm talking about here is that often you can develop a closer friendship and a closer business relationship by offering to help somebody else. Now, I have had the blessings and the opportunities to have a number of very notable people have guest articles, and I've interviewed them for my books. And so I've developed friendships and connections, and I was helping them first. People who respond to interviews would like to publicize what they're doing. Now, I want to share another thing that's great about reciprocate in a pattern is that if someone granted me an interview, and I keep my interviews kind of short, 10 to 15 minutes long, so it's not too much of an imposition. They like it. It's not too much of an imposition. But afterwards, I say, how can I be supportive of what you're doing? And so I've had all kinds of people respond, oh, would you let people know in your circle at Facebook about I'm doing this? Or would you have people in your circle on Twitter know this? Or LinkedIn or whatever? Asking the question, how can I be supportive of what you're doing is a wonderful pattern to set up. And you can say that in the beginning of the relationship, or you can set it up at different points in the relationship. I often connect with people in my circle when I have nothing to ask for. I'm just listening to them. I'm just saying, how are things going? So I'm giving to them by being a listener. And this happens often, especially in Facebook chat. They complain about whatever's going on. So I listen to them. Now, the other thing about saying, how can I be supportive of what you're doing, is that some people hesitate to ask that question because they think it's a risk. They might ask for too much. Well, then what you need to do is practice. You might want to rehearse. I'm a coach, so people rehearse with me. As an executive coach, spoken word strategist. You say, I'll need to double check, see how my schedule is. Let me get back to you on that. So you give yourself some think space, some time to think about it. You don't immediately say yes. Just because they ask you for something doesn't mean you have to say yes. There have been times where someone has said, hey, can you share this on your Facebook page? And I felt that it was not a connection for that particular Facebook page. I said, I can share it with my circle on Twitter. You decide how you're going to be supportive. But if you don't hear from them how you could be supportive, you have no idea how you could be helpful. So I've had people say, well, would you look at my slide deck? And maybe you can connect me with HNWIs. That's the acronym for high net worth individuals. When it's appropriate, I might say yes, and I'll look at it, and then I'll look around at the circle of people I know and see if anybody I know would be interested in that particular opportunity, that particular company or project or something like that that would fit into their interests. But that's the thing. People on the high level, we are asking each other, hey, take a look at this. I just recently was working on another version of my biography, and I talked about 4 people, and one version of my biography begins like this. When Tom Marcoux pulled a cameraman from out of harm's way as a plane wing slashed at the man's head, Tom's view of leadership changed. Now, this was different. And this came about because somebody in my circle said, you know, Tom, you've had some adventures. Why don't you tell this biography more like a story? You are a storyteller. A lot of what really works in the things that I do it all rises in quality because I have a circle of people I talk to, and we're all helping each other rise. Like one circle of success. We all rise together because we can ask each other things. This looks like a good time for a Marcoux moment. That's when I share an excerpt from one of my 47 books up on Amazon. This excerpt is from Year of Awesome. The subtitle is How You Can Use 12 Success Principles, including 10 Seconds to Wealth. So we're going to go to page 77.
That was an awesome title.
Well, thank you. It came from an awesome year, right? Anyway, the idea here is 10 seconds to wealth. It's on page 77. And it talks about what is 10 seconds to wealth. It emphasizes that in 10 seconds, you can close a sale or torpedo a relationship. Using your divine gifts, covered in an earlier section of this book, enables you to be at your best during the crucial 10 seconds of any interaction, whether those 10 seconds are at the beginning, middle, or end of the interaction. The strategy is to condition yourself to be at your best during those all-important 10 seconds. And this book has many methods to help with that. Recent brain research notes that it takes 10 seconds for positive input to impact your long-term memory. This means that memorizing empowering thoughts, rehearsing effective behaviors, and writing positive details in your personal journal all help to physically alter your brain so that it is inclined toward the positive.
Sounds like a lot of useful information.
Absolutely. And the point is that 10 seconds to wealth is so crucial. Being able to condition yourself to be inclined, that is, with your brain inclined toward the positive, helps you raise your level of success. So that's the close of this excerpt from Year of Awesome. How you can use 12 success principles, including 10 seconds to wealth. Johanna, I'm curious, what are you going to keep from our conversation?
I really want to know how I can be helpful to you.
Okay. Well, this was very helpful. I really deeply appreciate these podcasts and our conversations. And
Well, they're always so informative.
yes, and it's really meaningful that we're able to do this together because our synergy of energy really serves our listeners. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Click to subscribe to this channel.
And then you'll be supporting Johanna, me, and our message.
Tom helps people in other ways.
As a spoken word strategist and executive coach, I help people really connect and get yes. I help them with their speeches, pitches, video marketing, and networking. And I help them prepare for that crucial life-changing meeting. As you're ready to go to the next step, see special videos, find out about my books and coaching at getthebigyes.com/next step.
And so remember,
Perform at your best with words, strategy, and rehearsal.
for your success.